I took a break from my job, CNN, as a software engineer. In total comp, I was making about 130K. And I took a break with nothing lined up to pursue the arts. I knew I was going to pursue songwriting. I knew I was going to travel some places with my wife. And I've recently also decided to put on one more thing on there, which is create content in the form of YouTube. And I've been experimenting with some blog posts as well. And I want to talk about why I'm extremely optimistic about doing these pursuits right now. So I was feeling a little weird. It obviously always feels weird to leave your job, especially a good job that I liked a lot and honestly paid pretty well. There's people who make a lot more money, but I was proud of that salary. I think if I could hustle, I could earn more, but it's a really good place to start in your career. So, not start, I've been working for 7.5 years, but it was a solid salary, I'll say that. So now I'm here, not working for a company, but working for myself, working on songs and working on YouTube videos mainly. And so I am doing that right now, and that's pretty interesting. And so I want to talk about why I'm really optimistic. So I'm really optimistic because if I value this on the low end and the high end of how this shakes out. So low end, after about 4 or 5 months, I decide to go, and I say low end, but let's just say, I guess that's a way of looking at it, but the low end is actually really good, which is, again, why I'm optimistic. So low end, I end up going back to the workforce, and I'm a lot better musician, which music just fulfills my soul, creating music. So I'm a lot more skilled musician, and I am at the point by then I'm at the point where I'm getting paid to play, and I'm just starting to get there now, where this last week I had 3 gigs at farmers markets. I made $185, which is pretty cool, getting paid to just practice my guitar out in public, where I'm going to be practicing my guitar anyway, so it's kind of neat to just get paid. And I know $185 is not enough to live on in a week, and that's definitely the highest paid week I've ever had for music, but it's still pretty cool. So having that, and that's only going to go up if I keep practicing a lot, which I will do because that's one of the main focuses I have for these next few months. So yeah, come out of this as a better musician. So let's say I go back to work as a software engineer, and I come out of this as a better musician, and I come to this, and this is interesting, from YouTube practicing, just doing YouTube videos. If nothing happens, nobody ever watches my videos, I stop making videos after this break. If that happens, then that's okay, because what happens is I will have improved my ability to speak to a camera, which is actually, I think, a very useful skill today, because so many jobs are remote, especially being a software engineer. Majority of my meetings were through a screen, through Zoom, and I didn't have camera presence really, and I still don't really. I'm still working on it, but I do believe that if I keep putting in reps on YouTube videos, I'm going to improve, right? Because I'm recording these videos, and then what do I do after I record them? I watch them. And it's kind of like, I remember in tennis, if you hit 5 forehands and recorded those and then watched those videos, you'd have a better forehand. If every single time that's what you did, you would improve your forehand by doing that. So I think that's pretty interesting with YouTube. I'm thinking that if I just keep recording these videos and then I watch them while I'm editing them and whatnot, I'm going to become a better speaker. I can already tell that in my first few attempts at videos, and then I finally got around to posting a few. And I still do this. I have noticed that I use filler words and I say in the past because I want to drop this habit. So I'm going to phrase this as in the past, because this habit I'm hoping is dying. In the past, I have used filler words. I've used words such as, I was about to say like. I've used words such as like. I've used words such as I've used words such as I've used words such as and. I keep saying and between things instead of just finishing the sentence and starting a new one. I've learned these things about my speech. I've learned that I sometimes repeat the same word, and it's okay to do that maybe a couple times, but I will sometimes repeat the same word many times in a row before going on, as a way to buy myself time to think instead of just pausing. And I just did the and thing. So I'm learning things about my speech just by recording these videos and watching them back. So I believe that YouTube's gonna make me a lot better speaker, increase my camera presence. Again, this is after a few months of going all in on it. And I say all in, it's not really all in. It's because I'm splitting my time between music and YouTube, but it's spending a lot of time in music and YouTube, just putting in a lot of effort into these two things. I think I'm gonna get a lot better camera presence, and I think I'm gonna get a lot better at creating songs, which is gonna be a very, very valuable skill. The YouTube part, being able to speak in front of camera for my tech job. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic, because on the low end, that's what happens. And then on the high end, to the low end, I come back to my job. I've lost my savings, or not lost, but I've eaten up a chunk of my savings, because I didn't make any money out of this. I just lived off of my cash savings to create this content. So I've eaten up some of my savings, but I've improved my skill I've improved my camera presence, and I've improved myself as a musician. And a goal of mine is to be able to get music to be self-paying, so I could like have these gigs, and then I can use the money from the gigs to buy lessons and studio time. That's my dream right now. I'm just paying for studio time and lessons. But anyway, that would be really cool if those two things happen and I return to work. And so that's the low end. And the high end and there's everything in between these two too also. So the high end is really interesting, right? Like, what if at the end of a few months, I start to have some traction with YouTube or music? And I'm not talking about traction in terms of people listening and a bunch of people looking at my stuff. I'm talking about traction, because that's going to take a chunk of time, I know for sure. Stuff doesn't happen overnight. But I'm talking about traction in terms of, I find out that I really like creating content. I find out that I really like writing songs a lot. And I do know that I like those now, but it's easy to like things when they're brand new. But I find out that I really like this stuff, and I find out that I'm really improving, and I find out that maybe I have some skill in this area. That's the high end. And then at that point, it's going to reassess. It's going to say, okay, instead of going back for a full-time software engineering job, do I leave, and do I just take a part-time job to make ends meet and just keep doing whatever I can to blast music and YouTube? And that's interesting to me, because I'm somebody who has multiple interests, and I always think about, like, even right now, I miss coding, and I could just follow whatever my interests are and create content around it. Super interesting with YouTube. So right now, if I'm really into coding for a year or two, I could build something and create content around it. But then if I decide that I'm more interested in guitar than coding, which I am, that's my situation right now, I could make content around guitar for a while, and all the stuff that I'm learning on my guitar journey. And that's an interesting idea there. Whereas if I get a job writing code, and then I decide that I'm more interested in playing guitar for a year, after 2 or 3 or 4 years of just writing code for 8 hours a day, I can't just play guitar and expect the company to pay me, because they hired me to write code. So that's what's interesting me on a high end. If I end up liking it, I think there is a kind of unique opportunity with YouTube and music on the really high end. And there's every spectrum in between. I think there's a really cool spectrum in between, is getting a software engineering job and then doing this on the side as a hobby. These two things as hobbies, music and YouTube. And there's maybe a spot closer to the high end, which is it's a supplemental income. So I'm feeling super optimistic about this 4-month. I think right now I've got it charted out for 3 to 4 months, and then I'm going to reassess. I'm feeling really optimistic about this right now. So I thought I'd share. It's been to be honest, sometimes I'm not so optimistic. Sometimes I feel strange. Like the other day I was at a studio session at 10:30 in the morning, and I don't know, because music, I would always go to studio session when I was after work, and it just felt weird going there like during the middle of the day. I thought to myself, what am I doing? It's just so ingrained in me from many years of working during normal business hours to be doing music in the middle of the day, which is something that I usually do to unwind. Just felt really wrong, and I felt kind of lazy, and so I didn't feel optimistic then. And I guess I'm in a way I'm trying to kind of capturing this energy right now, because I want to look at this, because I'm feeling very optimistic right now, and I'm hoping to look at this video when I'm feeling a little bit down. So anyway, down on this you know, kind of interim period that I took a leap. I'm clear on what I'm what I want to work towards, but I don't really know how it's all going to end out. And so anyway, that's how I'm thinking about this right this moment. And I'm curious if you've taken a leap like this, if you've ever, you know, left your corporate job to try something. And you know, I'm not against corporate jobs. I really liked my job. You know, it was awesome. I really grew so much from working there, and I think I would definitely consider going back, because I did have a really good time. They paid well, etc. But I'm just curious, have you ever left your career for a little bit and taken some time to do something off the beaten path, or just try something new? And if you have, like, please let me know in the comments. I'm trying to find people who have similar ideas, and just trying to learn from other people too. So do let me know, and I'll talk to you all next time. Let me out, cause I'm feeling still crazy. I've been in and out of good moods lately. More and more I run, the more the shit chase me. Holds me down like some ankle weights that I can't see. Can't see. Said it holds me down like some ankle weights that I can't see. Let me out, cause I'm feeling still crazy. I've been in and out of good moods lately. Don't feed me grapes, instead I want grape leaves. Deep work in a new place is the only thing that gon' save me. Free me, feed me, feed me. Art therapy, art therapy, therapy.